El Mencho, leader of the CJNG cartel, just got killed probably like 4 hours ago in a military operation. And you know what's crazy about Mexico? Anytime in Mexico they decide to have these operations, they have to just admit that civilians are going to die because they know how these cartels are going to react to if any of their leaders get killed. I mean, look at this shit. I'm going to just play the videos while I'm talking, but they're basically doing mayhem in the city, setting shit on fire, fucking up airports. And every time, I mean, you go to El Mencho, who just got arrested. You can go all the way back to when it happened with El Chapo, recently with Ismael Zambada. Anytime, I'm sure when Miguel Felix Gallardo got arrested back in the day in the 80s, because if you know anything about the cartel, I'm going to just do a quick little story about how the cartel started. So in the early 70s, there was never a cartel system. Everybody in Mexico had their own individual plaza, and you would have a plaza boss. So there were like, I don't know, maybe like 13 or 14 different plazas, and each one of them separately transported cocaine, whatever. They all did it as separate plazas. Until one guy named Miguel Felix Gallardo. Yeah, I didn't fuck with his name. Miguel Felix, that's just what we'll call him. Miguel Felix had the idea of getting all the plazas together and starting one giant cartel. If you go back to that story, so Miguel had a boss at the time, and I think there was a feud between Pablo Acosta and Miguel's current boss. So Pablo Acosta was beefing with Miguel's current boss. He got all these plazas to agree to become one cartel, and Miguel's boss was going to be in charge of it all. But he couldn't get over his beef with Pablo Acosta, and then they ended up killing him. So that just shows, this is just kind of a life lesson in that story. If you have a beef with somebody, never let it get in the way of the greater good. He was going to be the leader of the fucking Guadalajara cartel, and he let his emotions get in the way. But I kind of got a little bit distracted with that. But that's how the original cartel started. The first cartel was the Guadalajara cartel, and Miguel convinced all these plazas to work together. Cool. I think in the late, maybe 1988, Miguel, he didn't want it to happen, but they kidnapped a DEA agent named Kiki Camarena. And when they kidnapped Kiki Camarena, they tortured him, and then they killed him. And then after that, they sent the whole force of the DEA to basically shut everything down. So they arrested Miguel Felix Gallardo and Rafael Quintero, and they were labeled as the people who orchestrated it. When it was really the government of Mexico, but that's a whole different topic. But anyways, whole thing in Mexico, it's a narco economy. So if they dismantled all the drug dealers, basically their economy wouldn't be able to run anymore because people have been making money so long. The cartels have been around since the 70s, making billions of dollars. Their economy relies on it. So if your economy relies on it, we're not going to let their economy cripple. So they actually need drug distribution to support their country. So it's really all kind of it's not that it's a big joke, but theoretically, you could never shut down Mexico's drug operations because doing that would also shut down Mexico. So you can't have both. So I'm not saying it's all a game, but it really fucking is. The government in Mexico really runs it, and they just have different people who, when a certain person fucks up, isn't listening no more, they just decide to put somebody else in charge, and now he's the new figurehead, and it's a non-ending cycle. So that's just a quick update on what's going on in Mexico. I really kind of went somewhere else with that topic because what we really were supposed to talk about was El Mencho and what's going on there. But yeah, man, the shit is crazy. And anybody who you hear about, like the big dogs, like the El Chapo, Ismael Zambada, Rafael Quintero, all those guys have put in like 40, 50 years of work. It ain't no fly-by-night shit. They've all been there. El Chapo, he was part of the Guadalajara cartel. That's what's kind of cool. If you look at what Miguel had with the Guadalajara cartel, basically, because I didn't finish the story, when he got arrested, all the cartels basically split after Miguel went to jail. And that's what we have today. If Miguel was still running shit, it'd be a lot less violence because all the cartels were working as one under Miguel. But they arrested Miguel for some shit that they say he ain't even did because he knew better than to kill a DEA agent. And that's what's caused all the mayhem we have today. If they never would have arrested Miguel, I'm not saying there wouldn't be violence, but it'd be a lot more controlled because it was one whole cartel. If you have one cartel, it's always going to be less fucking problems than if you have 10 separate cartels always fighting to be the best and kill each other and shit. And it's really just crazy. So they really should have never fucking arrested Miguel. But